Get ready to dive into a world where empires stand on the brink of war and terrible monsters tear at the fragile borderlands of men. The Adventurer Conqueror King System Imperial Imprint, or as we like to call it, Acts 2, is now live on Kickstarter. Acts 2 is the new edition of the acclaimed best-selling fantasy role-playing game. You'll find everything you need to enjoy epic fantasy campaigns with a sweeping scope. Whether you want to crawl through dungeons, experiment with alchemy, crossbreed monsters, run a merchant emporium, raise an undead legion, or even conquer an empire, Acts 2 supports your playstyle. Acts 2 integrates experience point mechanics, making campaign activities a seamless part of the core gameplay loop. Your character levels up in new and exciting ways each time you play, adding massive replayability to each of your adventures. Acts 2 offers 18 character classes, 378 spells, new combat mechanics, and so much more. Support Acts 2 on Kickstarter today.
Nox Prone is a clean, chaotic, and deep podcast for D&D nerds. Find more ways to support our show in the episode description.
Last time on Nox Prone, you're watching water molecules inside of River start to rupture with this necrotic damage. And he looks at you and he says,
"Her plan worked. The art of deception is all about making them look at one hand while the real trick is in the other."
And then he takes a long moment of silence and looks at you.
"You won't beat her."
"I won't beat her, but we will."
And with that, how would you like to kill River?
Yes!
It sounds like the elementals are starting to fight each other more than they're fighting our armies. Is it time to call them off? I think we need to go defeat Vecna.
Inside of this lobby-like area, you see a gigantic runic crystal. In the center of the room, a sickly yellow hue emanating off of it, and it seems to be growing crystals atop of it as you are watching it. Inside of this gigantic runic crystal, Vecna, standing alongside 8 dissection tables, each with one of the gods of the 10 strapped down with arcane manacles. On the outside of the crystals are a series of runes. Each one of these symbols on these runes that are circling around this giant stone pertains to one of the gods of the 10 on the dissection table. Inside the crystal also is a book that has a huge aura of necromantic energy emanating from it. Efimia, you notice this to be Vecna's phylactery.
Whether you're a halfling, a giant, or somewhere in between, round the table with your friends, playing Dungeons and Dragons. And if life ever knocks you down, your dice will surely turn around. Roll your stats, it's time to quest. Let's put your characters to the test.
As we left off, you are all inside the Ascended Corp headquarters. Everyone, roll for initiative.
19 for Zach.
Woo!
8 for Grom.
7.
12. I'm not last.
At initiative 20, you guys are able to do your status reports. So, Alec and Mason, go ahead and do a status report. Zag starting first. Which army would you like to contact?
The dwarves. Just kidding. Just kidding. Avalar.
You have to be an 8.
Ooh. 15.
Woohoo.
Wonderful.
All right, awesome. So as you call Avalar, roll a D100.
32. Dale, how's it going?
Things are going great. We've been pumping straight espresso into his eyes for about 30 minutes, and he's just taking so much damage. He's, I think, 2/3 of the way done.
He's 196 out of 300 so far. Grom, who are you checking up on?
I will check in with, I believe, the citizens of Greyhaven who are fighting the Elder Brain.
You also have to beat an 8.
19. Crit.
A 19. Go ahead and roll a D100.
50-50.
Cassidy, here we are, facing your former captor. Soon, I wanted to check in and see how the citizens of Greyhaven are faring.
We're doing great. The Elder Brain has a lot of weaknesses. I mean, like, gosh, don't leave your brain out in the open. That leaves a lot of weakness. Just, we've been firing arrows from a distance. We haven't taken any damage, but I think we've done like 1/6 of his health.
They're doing well.
Oh, good. Tell her I said hi.
Efimia says hello.
And a big ol' hello to her as well.
I don't know. we are going to go over to Vecna's turn. At initiative 20, you see Vecna's obsidian hair is flowing like digital rivers of zeros and ones as rune crystal power streams from the auras of the captured gods in this rune crystal into her skull. She's wearing a tailored, sleek pantsuit that pulses with arcane energy, while an Eye of Vecna pendant gleams around her neck. On one hand, she picks up the book from the pedestal that appears to be her phylactery and glares onward at your party. Her voice, both magnetic and commanding, carries an aura of dread-filled omnipotence as she continues her dark ritual. The crystal pillars around the room light up with every consonant of Vecna's raspy ritual voice. Everyone go ahead and make me an Arcana check.
I got a 23.
16.
15.
Natural 20.
Wow, okay. With a natural 20, Zag, you are able to identify that these rune crystal pillars around the room are currently blocking all potential damage that Vecna would take. You need to disassemble these rune crystal pillars in order to damage Vecna. But on top of that, with a natural 20, you also realize these rune crystal pillars are the things that are controlling this ritual, and once each rune crystal pillar has filled up, one of the gods on the table will die, and Vecna will absorb their power.
And right now, Vecna's like within a large rune crystal, right? So she doesn't even appear to be within our reach as of right now.
Yes, exactly.
Can I ask one question about having spent time mining these type of crystals and stuff like that? Am I able to get a read on approximately how sturdy they look? Do these look like they're going to be extremely difficult to break, or do they look like they're like fragile like the phones?
They seem not difficult to break at all, very fragile like the phones. However, you do see an aura of abjuration around these crystals. It seems that even once you break them, the mother crystal will help reproduce new crystal pillars.
Based on, you said I'm able to kind of sense magical energy coming from it. Are the stones necrotic by any nature? I know that they're assisting with like helping Vecna cast her undead haze over the world and stuff like that, but like, is that just Vecna channeling them, or are they kind of necrotic and evil by nature?
These crystals are more so helping with the current ritual of destroying the current gods. They do have a necromantic energy. They don't seem to be what Vecna is necessarily being powered by, but instead what she is using as a conduit.
Okay.
And also, you are starting to notice that there may be some sort of guard precautions set in place in each of these stones with your guys' very high checks.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Vecna's turn. She's going to start reading in a language that you all understand and yet feel very disconnected to. She's reciting lines of the ritual, and it's as though as she's speaking directly to you. I'm going to need everyone to make me a charisma saving throw.
You're near me. You get +3.
22.
21.
Okay.
8.
Okay.
18.
18. All right. So everyone is going to pass except for Grom.
I'm so shocked.
Grom, you are under the effect of paralysis until the end of your next turn.
Okay.
As Vecna looks directly into your soul and says,
You are alone, child. There is only darkness for you, and only death for your people.
and with that, that is the end of Vecna's turn. Zag, you are up.
What distance are we from Vecna?
You are at the front door of the Ascended Corp Tower. It is about 50 feet from Vecna, 40 feet from the wall of the crystal that Vecna is contained inside.
How big is the crystal she's enclosed within? Like, is it a large space inside it?
Yes, it's about 40 feet diameter either way. So it is a large central chamber inside of this building that you guys are in.
Is Zag able to notice the effects that Vecna has put upon Grom?
Oh, 100%. You notice that Grom almost looks like he has been petrified.
Grom is currently reaching for the stone to contact his mom. You see him just fumbling through the bag, like disregarding his hammer and everything.
Okay. So before doing anything, say to Grom, "Don't listen to her. She's lying to you. You're stronger than this." Zag is going to crouch down and focus for a second before utilizing 2 sorcery points to use a distance spell upon Misty Step, and he is going to teleport within the crystal directly next to the phylactery book, if that's possible.
Go ahead and roll me an Arcana check.
Oh no. I'm gonna burn one of my meta magic guidance points, and I'm gonna also use my emboldening bond to add an additional d4. 12.
With a 12.
And I'm going to use my... No, I'm just kidding.
All right, if you have more. With a 12, you feel as this dome of crystal repels you as you try to travel through it. You are able to travel up to the crystal. However, the crystal does not allow you to enter.
Zag is going to attempt to cast Mage Hand. You're going to see his hand push up against the crystal, unless that's going to cause me damage, then next to the crystal. And attempt to use a Mage Hand to appear directly next to the book phylactery.
Go ahead and roll me an Arcana check again.
This is going to be a straight roll too, because I can't use any of my stuff again. 7?
A 7. Unfortunately, your Mage Hand also gets repelled outside of the radius. I'm so sorry.
End of my turn.
All right, awesome. And with that, it is going to be one of the enemy's turn. You look around and you see books flying from the shelves of the outside of the room, forming into these huge paper monsters, paper golems that are going to approach each of the crystal pillars and are going to stand guard in front of them. That is the end of their turn. They're just going to stand guard in front of all of these crystal pillars, protecting them. And with that, Efimia, you are up.
Paper golems. I remember these.
Efimia, as you are noticing these paper golems, you see as they push these symbols inside of these crystal pillars, and they are going to perform that ritual, which will give the ritual 24 out of 100 hit points. 100 hit points is when the ritual is complete.
Oh, that's 24. Okay. All of the front 4 golems are within 30 feet of her. I'm going to cast 2nd level Bane on the front 4 golems.
Okay.
Those creatures that I can see within range have to make charisma saving throws. So all 4 of them. Whenever a target fails this saving throw and they make an attack roll or a saving throw before the spell ends, which it lasts up to a minute, the target has to roll a d4 and subtract the number rolled from the attack roll or saving throw.
You've targeted the one stat point that they have dumped.
Oh.
They all fail.
Yes!
Grom, you are up. You notice as Efimia casts this hex over the paper golems.
I'm going to dig through my bag and pull out the stone. Just,
Mum, is everything okay? Are the dwarves alive? Are you alive?
Make me a d20 check. You have to beat a 2.
oh,
You beat it.
it's a 12.
Go ahead and roll me a d100.
Yeah. This is a good use of your turn.
67.
Oof. Grom! You'll never believe what's happening! We've defeated the Earth Elemental! Or, rather, we and the Air Elemental have defeated the Earth Elemental. It's fallen. It's gone. The Primordial is fallen and dead. The Air Elemental has turned towards the Water Elemental. And we're doing great, Grom!
I'm glad to hear it. Be careful.
That'll be the end of my turn.
Feeling bolstered as you were able to communicate with your mom. And with that, it is going to be the paper golem's turn. They are going to look around the battlefield, see that nobody has approached them, feel this hex that Efimia was able to place on them. They are going to apply a blot of ink to themselves, and they are going to send heaps of just sharpened paper out to Efimia, who is able to target all of them. So Efimia does a 8 hit.
No.
Does a 13 hit.
No.
Does a 16 hit.
No.
Does a... Wow, I'm doing terrible. Does a 12 hit.
No.
Woohoo!
Does a natural 1 hit. It will not.
Definitely not.
Does a 19 hit.
Yes.
Okay. And does another natural 1 hit.
No.
All right. So you are going to take a whopping 12 points of slashing damage, and I'm going to need you to make me a Constitution saving throw.
Ow, 15.
A 15, unfortunately, will not pass. So you will take 14 points of poison damage, and you are now under the effect of poisoned. A poisoned creature has disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks. So you are feeling nauseous as this ink is going to just seep into your bloodstream as these papers cut into you over and over again. And with that, that is the end of the paper golem's turn. Selene, you are up.
All right, I'm going to walk forward towards 2 of the golems and stand in between them, so it appears that I am within 10 feet of each of them.
Right.
And then I'm going to, as my action, allow my necrotic shroud wings to sprout from my back.
Wonderful.
And they will need to make a charisma saving throw or become frightened until the end of my next turn.
That is a 4 and a 2.
That does not pass. So now they are frightened of my skeletal, ghostly, frightening wings.
You hear through their pages as they start running away from your presence.
Oh, okay. And then I would like to use my bonus action to dash towards the next 2 golems.
Okay.
That are kind of over a ways. The frightening thing is kind of over. It won't apply to them. And that's the end of my turn.
Wonderful. All right. And with that, we're going to go back up to the top of the order, back to the status report. Efimia and Selene, who are you guys contacting for your status report?
Efimia is going to call up Kobo since Cassidy in.
And you have to beat 6.
Ooh.
I'm rolling
Nat 20.
Nat 20. With a nat 20, go ahead and roll 2 D100s against the fire elemental.
35, 81.
You call into Kobo.
Kobo, how is it going? How are you doing?
It's going well. We've just done a massive blow.
Oh, do you still have crab hands?
No, I'm out of crab form. I got knocked out of it, but it doesn't hurt my, physical form once I'm out.
Oh, thank goodness. The troops, they're okay?
Yes, at least these last couple rounds have gone very well for us.
Okay, keep in touch, okay?
Of course.
Kobo is doing phenomenally again, as the fire primordial seems to be mostly taken care of. Selene, go ahead and roll. Who are you checking in on?
So I'm going to check in on Finch, which is also with the Veiled Grin fighting the Elder Brain.
So you have to beat a 9.
19.
With a 19, go ahead and roll a D100.
19.
19. Hey, you're nothing if not consistent.
Finch, how is it going?
Selene, oh my gosh, our windswept hair turned into bedhead, and now, wow, the Elder Brain's super jealous because it doesn't even have any hair.
Finch, I didn't know you were so interested in hair, to be honest.
It's overrated.
Maybe you should be a hairdresser or something.
Well, after this fight, I'm thinking the same thing. Anyway, thanks for checking in. How are you guys doing?
Well, it's a little too early to tell, but we'll keep checking in.
Awesome.
It is going to be Vecna's turn. Vecna is going to continue her dark ritual. Everyone go ahead and make me a charisma saving throw.
Whoever is within 10 feet of Efimia gets +3.
I am dirty 20 for Zag.
17 for Efimia.
12 for me.
10.
10?
Oh,
Okay.
emboldening bond.
Add it.
13 total.
13. You all are able to shake off Vecna's words. You seem to not be able to understand what language she is speaking in, but then she clears her throat all at once, and she looks at your party and says, I was once a cleric, and she then gestures to Zag with her bony hand, much like your golden boy over here. I prayed diligently to my deity, and I was rewarded with minor powers, but my world unraveled when a section of our chapel's western wall crumbled, revealing a dark passage. A strange purple liquid flowed in, staining the stone tiles. Time passed. Explorers returned from the tunnel, claiming it led to a natural cavern filled with more of that unsettling purple liquid. Things took a sinister turn when a massive unbreakable crystal started emerging through the crypt, blocking passages and doorways. They grew relentlessly, a testament to their unnatural origin. An expert artificer noted that their resilience compared them to diamonds and hinted at a dark force behind their creation. She looks on at the party, upset that her threats did not make it through, but she smirks as you are all attacking her, and that is the end of her turn. She's going to continue her ritual. Zag, you are up.
You guys aren't even gonna believe this. Remember when I was all into plants like way early? I still have an antitoxin from early campaign. And Efimia is conveniently right next to Zag. Wow. Zag is going to pull an antitoxin out of the bag that he now has and throw it to Efimia to start his turn. And then I would like to, and if this takes an action, let me know. Can Zag identify what is preventing him from entering this crystal sphere that Vecna is enclosed in?
I'll allow that to be an object interaction, which won't cost anything. Just go ahead and do me a Arcana or Religion check, your choice.
It's going to be a 13.
You are able to deduce that this magic is expelling magic through the crystal. Whatever energy is coming from this runic crystal does not want others to enter that are not Vecna. It seems that the crystals themselves are what is repelling you from this crystal.
Zag is going to kind of like put his hands up on each side of him and summon spectral daggers, 3 of them, and cast a magic missile in which he'll target the 3 crystals to the other side of the battlefield that the other characters have been targeting and hit each one. Spectral daggers will like summon up from the ground and just dart towards each of them. 2, 4, 2.
You are able to cleanly knock one of the symbols out of the crystal pillar. It falls to the ground.
I made a good decision. Did you guys hear that? Did you guys hear that? Good job! It wasn't stupid!
And one of the 8 pillars is going to power down as this pillar has been disassembled. And with that, is that the end of your turn, Zag?
Yes.
It is going to be the Paper Golem ritual turn. They are going to roll 7d6 instead of 8d6 because of Zag. They rolled a 30, and so the ritual is going to charge up to 54% of the way completed. Everyone roll a d8.
8. 5.
8.
6.
So with a 5, you see the pillar with the 5-star pronged Tiamat symbol completely darkened as you watch as Tiamat dies in the middle of this rune crystal circle. With a 6, you see a coin surrounded by shamrocks blacken, and you watch as Timora dies in the center of this rune crystal table. Zag, go ahead and roll me a religion check.
I am going to burn another meta magic point and re-roll that.
Okay.
17.
With a 17,
I am out of sorcery points really early.
you look at this 8th pillar that had 2 people roll it. You see a bugle trumpet of the symbol of the god Thorn on it.
Ooh.
Who survives with a 17 religion check and is not outright killed by Vecna. And with that, Efimia, you are up.
Oh no.
That just sparked some serious fire right here.
And as Vecna absorbs the power of 2 of these gods, she smiles and looks over the party and says, "Deeper exploration revealed the source of our dread. These monstrous crystalline formations were larger and more disturbing than any other thing we had ever encountered. It assumed a star-like strength with tendrils reaching to the adjacent walls, as if it was trying to expand its malevolent influence. The crystal was different from the rest. Inside, a nightmarish entity writhed and moved like a trapped creature in a cage. This abomination in crystal defiled nature itself, bearing the head and legs of a goat, with ram-like horns, a bloated body, bat-like wings, and a long tail. It paid no mind to us as terrified explorers, and as we retreated, black, tendrilled energy surged forth, attempting to snuff out our lives. I was among these adventurers this day. I felt death's chilling grasp as it clenched around me with its black tendrils. But then, as if the creature within the crystal could sense my potential, it spoke to me. It revealed a forbidden knowledge, a path to godhood that was not able to be reached before, and the art of siphoning power from others. I embraced its teachings. I became a lich, and I waited, growing stronger with every life I claimed. They once called me the goddess of secrets, but I was cast out of my demonic heritage unjustly. And with that, that is the end of the Paper Golem's turn. Efimia, you are up.
Well, Efimia's going to use her bonus action to take the antitoxin.
Okay. Your poison recedes from your body. You feel immediately better.
Thank you. Thanks, Zag.
I've got your back.
I'm just going to attack the closest golem to me. This is what I'm going to do. Yeah, we're going to just roll with that. I'm going to attack the closest golem to me with my rapier.
Okay, wonderful. Go ahead and roll it.
All right. And does a 25 hit?
That will surely hit.
Nat 1.
Himbo's luck.
Okay.
Natural 20.
Yes.
Whoa.
20. Okay.
I'm going to use a second level divine smite.
Okay.
And so that is, so for the first attack, we've got, it's a 9 total on that first hit.
Okay.
And then the second hit was the nat 20. And I used divine smite at 3d8.
10d8 is what you're able to roll.
Would you like to borrow a d8?
49.
You deal 49 plus 9 points of damage for 58 points of damage towards this paper golem. How would you like to kill this paper golem?
I would like to dissect him like a kid with a library book. Like, I'm talking just going in initially with the rapier and then just tearing out pages.
58 points of health to this paper golem, and we're able to cleave 4 hit points off of the next golem as your radiant energy burns through these books.
I would like to make him go down with 4, like the other golem, go down 4 hit points just by Efimia staring him down as she's tearing apart the other golem.
Yeah, 4 points of psychic damage. Yeah, exactly.
Make him watch as I tear his friend apart.
So one of the pillars, Efimia, as you strike this paper golem down, glows with radiant energy instead of being darkened, and it seems that this pillar is unable to be utilized in the ritual, and the god that it is tied to is safe. Grom, you are up. You watch as Efimia tears down one of these paper golems, and you see Vecna still inside of this crystalline central hub doing this dark ritual on these gods.
Grom's gonna run 30 feet towards like the center of the room on the right side of all the crystals, and after seeing her kill 2 gods is just going to say, enough of your blasphemy, enough of your evil, you need to end. And I am going to cast Radiant Sphere from my hammer. I want to target 5 of the pillars within 30 feet of me.
Go ahead and roll your damage.
18 points of radiant damage.
Each?
Yeah.
That's a
Wow.
solid spell.
All right, with 18 points of
I can
radiant
do it once
damage
per day.
dealt to each of the pillars, you notice as every one of the pillars you hit gets decommissioned, all of the symbols fly out of it. There is 1 pillar remaining. However, the paper golems are looking to reassemble those pillars.
I will then use a bonus action to just activate my Remarkable Athlete feature for being Champion Fighter to increase my speed by 10 for the next minute.
Awesome. And with that, the paper golems are going to attack Grom, seeing that you have taken so many of their pillars away. 4, natural 1, 7, 10, natural 20, 14. So with that, the only one that is going to be able to hit is the natural 20. They're going to use, again, their bonus action to blot ink upon themselves, and then they're going to send out this paper cut attack at you. You feel paper dig deep into you, as you are going to take 14 points of slashing damage, 14 points of poison damage, an additional, roll me a constitution saving throw.
22.
That will save. With a save, instead of taking 28 points of poison damage, additionally, you will take 14. And with that, that is the end of the paper golem's turn. Selene, you are up.
All right, so for my action, I'm going to attempt to hit the golems with my all pike.
Okay, wonderful. Roll it.
27 to hit.
That'll hit.
8 points of damage plus 14 points of necrotic damage because of my wings.
22 points of damage total so far.
And then, of course, I'll roll my sneak attack. 20 points of damage. And then I will use my offhanded attack. All right, that's a 29 to hit for the offhanded attack.
That'll definitely hit.
And then that's 5 points of damage for the offhanded attack.
Wonderful.
And then I can do sneak attack on that. 32 points of damage.
Selene, go ahead and tell me how you would like to kill this paper golem.
Since I have my fancy all pike, I'm gonna say I'm spinning it around like a friggin' master, and I'm like making little paper mache strips out of him.
Wonderful. You successfully make paper mache strips out of him and deal 29 points of psychic damage to another paper golem in the process.
Wonderful.
As it watches you absolutely paper shred its friend to bits. He is considered bloodied. 2 of the paper golems have been defeated of 8. And with that, is that the end of your turn, Selene?
No, I would like to use my reaction to create a tokens of the departed.
Okay.
So now I will get advantage on death saving throws and constitution saving throws because I'll have the trinket on me.
Okay.
And then I would also like to use my ability that I can have after sneak attack, which is Wails from the Grave, which will expend 1 use of that.
Wonderful.
Which means I can attack
More
a
psychic
second
damage.
creature, and I get to roll half my sneak dice necrotic damage towards a second creature.
Wonderful. All right, roll it. I'm guessing you're attacking the creature that has been bloodied.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful.
11 points of damage.
11 points of damage. This creature wobbles as it is looking very, very bloodied, on the cusp of death. And with that, is that the end of your turn, Selene?
That is.
All right, wonderful. Zag, go ahead and roll me a status report. You have to beat a 16.
Ooh. 16.
16.
Meets beats?
Let's say meets beats.
Yeah!
Go ahead and roll a D100
Nice.
against the Avalar Acerak fight.
Oh my gosh.
So close.
Dude, I've rolled a 100, and now I rolled
Oh,
a 1.
Straight
up 1.
Wow. You call into Dale, and what do you say?
How's it brewing?
Things are not brewing great. We nicked him. An arrow hit him, and I think he didn't really mind that much.
Drop the milk, Dale. Straight caffeine.
Yes, sir.
And with that, Grom, go ahead and roll me a status report. Who are you rolling for?
I'll check in with the turtles.
Yes,
I love the
go
turtles.
ahead and
That's
check
who
in
I
with
should
the
be
turtles.
backing up with.
You have to beat an 11.
10.
With a 10, unfortunately, that is going to be a D100 against the turtles.
25.
War. We're facing Vecna and making progress. How goes things on your end?
Well, things have been better. It was quite difficult after this earth elemental has been defeated. The air elemental and the water elemental are now fighting off against each other, but it's quite the stalemate, and the electricity of the air elemental is surging through the water, and it's been frying a few of our turtles.
If needs be, you can retreat. Leave the primordials to fight amongst themselves.
I'll follow your command. You let me know.
Vecna is going to take her turn. Everyone, go ahead and do a charisma saving throw.
30.
30, okay.
Nat 20!
Nat 20?
15.
I'm going to use Emboldening Bond. 14.
With a 14, each of you pass.
Oh.
And Selene and Zag, with your natural 20 and natural 30, you guys are able to shake off Vecna's reciting chants as she is literally, you just see these zeros and ones flowing out of her hair as she is absorbing energy from these gods. Everyone, now that you've successfully saved against your charisma saving throws and the ritual is over halfway completed, the ground beneath your feet is starting to tremble with ominous resonance as Vecna's ritual has reached halfway completed. The room's edges start to fracture as if nature itself is rending reality apart. The cracks snake and intertwine until, with a deafening roar, the chamber plunges into an abyssal descent. Everyone make me a dexterity saving throw to see if you're dragged down into the darkness.
Okay, 24.
20.
20. Okay.
19.
All these will pass so far.
14. I'm going to use inspiration to reroll my 20 or my d20.
Okay.
24.
There you go.
A 24. The ground beneath you falls away. You are each able to dive back through the Ascended Corp doorway, and you watch as Vecna and this entire room falls into an abyss. Gone.
What?
Wait, Vecna goes too?
The entire room that you guys were once standing in has fallen into the depths of the earth.
Where'd they go?
It's a giant hole in the ground.
Right, like,
Are the
but like,
crystals still there, or did the crystals also go?
The entire room filled with crystals has fallen.
paper golems, crystals, Vecna, gods, everything is down.
Everything is down, except for you guys. You've successfully saved.
We have to follow them down there.
Where did they even go?
We can't let them just get away. We're making progress.
I can get one, maybe two of us down there.
I can fly down there just fine. Maybe I can try to carry one of you.
How far is it?
It's an abyss, so it's gonna be far, I would assume. Not jump worthy.
Yeah.
I can get us down there, if you can get her down there.
Okay. Efimia, princess.
Oh no, not that again.
Princess Carrie.
All right. And Efimia's just gonna loop her arms around Selene's neck.
I waste
and
no
just
time.
jump into her
yes,
arms.
I waste no time, and I do attempt to enter the chasm.
Zag is going to use his final sorcery points to use a twin spell and cast Fly on himself and Grom.
Nice.
Wonderful.
We have a flying speed of 60 feet for 10 minutes. I'm sorry, I can't even think. I'm just like in my mind thinking about Zag and Grom just. So basically, Zag will say, "I've never tried this before. You trust me, right?
I trust you completely.
Jump!"
I'll jump.
And as they're free falling, I'd like it to be Mission Impossible-esque.
Totally.
He's gonna just give them a smack on the back, and all of a sudden they're just gonna and they're gonna be able to slow their fall and have full control over their skydive.
You guys fly for what seems like entire minutes, and your descent is cushioned by the air underneath you as you are able to gracefully fall into a mountain of bones that sharply slide you to the cavern floor. You take no damage since you are all flying, and when the dust of the room remains begin to clear, you look around and notice that you are in a cavern in the Underdark, an ancient and massive arcane chamber deep beneath the Earth's center. The chamber is adorned with intricate rune carvings on the walls, similar to the ones that you saw on the runic pillars. A pulsating, ominous pool of purple goop lies at the center, where you watch as the mother rune crystal, Vecna and the gods of the Ten reside, splashes down into the center of this purple goop. The room is now illuminated by the mother rune crystal as it glows, casting eerie, shifting shadows of purple and yellow throughout the room. The rubble from the headquarters lobby and the formations of the cave stalagmites make the floor of the entire battlefield difficult to maneuver around. So you guys would have had to deal with difficult terrain. You all have flight speeds except for Efimia, I suppose. Everyone is going to be able, including Efimia, since Selene's going to be able to carry her, is going to be able to maneuver around the difficult terrain. It is not going to affect you. And with that, that is the end of Vecna's turn. As she lands in this vat, you notice purple goop starts to form around this circular crystal that she is in, and she grows these tentacle-like, squid-like tentacles. You see as the purple goop starts to latch out at each of you, and you are feeling like things have changed. Vecna is growing in power significantly, increasingly. She is going to say, telepathically this time, I did what I always had to do as a lich. I learned from my past mistakes and plotted towards brighter futures. How was I to take this crystalline substance from which I could siphon power from and expand it to the world? Technology. I provided the world with hope, a method of communicating with their gods and loved ones like any cleric would have dreamed in my initial order. All packaged in a small, yellow crystal they would keep in their pockets. I planted the Mother Stone deep in the heart of the Mithril Mines. When the world discovered its potential, I utilized my resources and influence to monopolize on my own product. Once people had a taste for these powers of the mnemonic crystal technology, I had them hooked, line, and sinker. It's a shame you were so easily flipped, Orcus, as she gestures towards you, Efimia. I would gladly have spared your life in my new realm. Oh well, you'll die like the rest of these so-called gods. Everyone go ahead and roll me a religion check.
For an oath paladin, she's not very religious.
9.
9.
Cleric and paladin.
The most religious one.
14, okay.
10.
Grom, with your connection to Moradin, you are able to realize that Vecna's ritual that she is doing isn't just to destroy these gods of the Ten. She is trying to summon her deity, which she used to worship in her clerical order, Ao, the overgod, who has not shown their face in millennia. And with that, we are going to end our session for the night. My name is Cade, the host and dungeon master of this Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition adventure, and I'm joined here by the players to my left.
Alec playing Zag.
Mason playing Grom.
Marissa playing Efimia, being held ever so gently by Selene.
And Brooklyn playing Selene.
Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoy this podcast, go on over to patreon.com/knocked. And you could just drop us a comment as to whether or not you think that the Champions of Greyhaven are going to survive this battle. They're doing quite well, but at the same time, this ritual is 54% of the way completed. So go on over to patreon.com/knocked to support our show. If you are not in a monetarily position to support our show, go ahead and recommend us to a friend. Thank you so much for listening, and we hope you remember when life knocks you flat on your back, all you gotta do is keep rolling, and we hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.